YouTube, Sake1 here with an update video on my 75-gallon reef tank. This is my 1-year update. So much has happened since my last video. I apologize for not sending some update videos over the last couple months, but we recently moved. Unfortunately, I was unable to capture the move on video. It was a long, arduous process. But thankfully everything survived, all my corals survived, and I've added so much more stuff. So with that being said, we will get right into a lot of the new additions that we have. So this little Chalice right here, he's been around for quite some time. We'll pull in on him a little bit. He was originally broken in half, but he's filled out nicely. And then I added this Roboki Chalice right here that I got from my local fish store. It's completely covered that fragstone. It's starting to really spread out. This Chalice down here I've had for ever since I got my tank. He was one of the first corals I ever got. He's really slow growing, but he's got some really neat greens, blues, and reds on him. Weird. So I also picked up this plate coral. I had a bit of an issue with some cyanobacteria. I'll get into that in a minute. That's why he's on. You can see the little plastic rack that he's kind of on right there. He didn't like being on the sand. He almost bleached out totally. But once I put him on that rack, he turned out to be okay. And within a couple days, he got his bright orange back. Camera and the light doesn't really do him a lot of justice, but he's like bright neon orange, electric really. And he also has got a little bit of a green streak going down on him in a couple of places. So I picked up this golden torch coral at a frag swap in Columbia, South Carolina. What was cool about this was online. These things were at least $100, really small, but he cost me about $40. It was towards the end of the show, and I got a really, really good deal on him. He's just huge, as you can see, kind of just flowing in the breeze. Up here, you can see the growth on my pink Monte Digi and that Acro there, which I've had for a really long time. That pink Montipora is really taken off. I noticed every time I feed it, it just goes insane, and it grows like visually you can tell within a day or two. This little Acro I've had back here, the little green guy, he was one of the very first that I got. Again, camera and lights, not really doing him justice. See what happens if I focus in. Yeah, that's not going to capture him. But he bleached out. He never really got his vibrant green back. You can't really tell, but he's fairly white. I also picked up these guys right here, little sun polyps. They don't really come out during the light, but when it gets dark, they get really bright yellow and orange, and they come out and they're really cool. And then here's my cup coral. He's grown exponentially over the last year. He was probably not one of the first I got, but I've had him for quite some time. And then here is my Montipora capricornis, the planing Monty. And I wedged that green piece in there about 3 weeks ago, so those should grow together and kind of branch out and kind of swirl into each other is what I'm hoping, but they were already kind of connected. They're really cool. I'm hoping that green one grows out a little bit. I may trim that orange one back a little so it's a little more closer to the same size of the green one. So there's my clowns and my green bubble tip back there. He hasn't moved since I put him there. He actually split about a month and a half ago, and probably took about 6 or 8 months for him to split. And I've been feeding him. Now I'm down to feeding once a week. I just drop a couple of, usually 3 silver sides into him, and he eats them all up. But he split after about 6 months. There's my Pasilla Para, my purple, and then I picked up this guy right here about 2 weeks ago. He's a green Pasilla Para, so I just kind of stuck them together, and they're growing into each other, so I'm hoping they kind of just intertwine and twist up. There's my Trumpets. They've just gotten insanely bigger since I bought them. They were, again, one of the first corals I got. And then this Millie right here, he's encrusted all over this rock right here, you can see. Oh, there's a good view. And then there is the Jason Fox Red Hot Setosa. That thing's really cool. It's growing out, looks like a claw. And then This little green guy right here I've had, he was one of my very first. He's doing great. My frog spawn, I stopped feeding about a week before I moved, and that guy right there, the yellow fox face, he destroyed my frog spawn. It had like one tentacle on it. It had two heads and it was huge, and then he just wiped it out because he was hungry, and it's really coming back strong though. I picked up these Duncans from my fish store guy's house. They originally had 2 polyps on them. They've grown out really, really big. And then there's my war coral finally spreading out onto the rocks. This pink leather finger I've had since I got the tank, basically. I recently pulled him off a rock and stuck him on a stone, and now he's down in the sand. He waxed over a little bit, and now he's doing great. This brain right here I've had probably since I got the tank. One of the first corals I added again. Speaking of brains, there's my green brain. Picked up this brain here in the middle. Got a really good deal on him. He was only 40 bucks. And then there's my pink and my blue and orange and yellow brain. All really cool. And there's my Jason Fox runaway bride, Fabia. I recently got these frags at a frag show. This one's really cool. It's like a rainbow looking pally. And then I got some Rostazos with 2 polyps. Got a real good deal on those. And then I got these pallies here. And then these zoos. I got all these from Zoanthids.com at the frag show. The guy was really cool. And these ones right here, they have no name, but they have that orange ring and then like a deep blue center. Really, really cool. I like those a lot. Here's my Cypher straya. He's doing great. He's almost completely covered that entire rock. I've been taking stuff to my local fish store as it falls off, and I just frag it, and they give me credit, so that's been working out great. Over here, I picked up these 2 Acro colonies, here and here, from that coral show as well. I noticed the other night that there's a little Acro crab chilling inside there, and he bounces back and forth which one. But I got some rocks cooking in my tank, and I'm going to put them in this hole over here, and then I'm going to put the Acros on top of there. I'm going to move him out of the way. So right now they're just here adjusting to the light. I've had them for about a week. Let's see, over here I got my Ore bird's nest. It's doing great. A couple branches broke off that. I put them on that little fragstone right there. And then here's my Zoanthid garden. It's really done well. Again, I said I had some issues with some bacteria, but everything's cleared up now. Also, my phosphates were really, really high. If you can notice, like my rocks have a lot of algae on them. They were completely covered, but things have really taken off and are doing a lot better than they were. These right here are these Darth Maul pallies. They're just completely decimated. You can see they got overgrown with algae, and it kind of just took over and choked them out. These down here, my Lunar eclipses. These crazy orange ones here. These no names here. These are my God of War pallies. My Wham watermelons. Got a mix of like those red Bam Bams, and then also kind of like a reverse black hole sun there. I think these were called like some crazy orange sun, something, fire and ice. This Millie right here came as kind of like a bonus frag. He was stuck to that coral. You see these tags on him. That's the licensing for the aquaculture. So that I thought that was really cool. Both of those had those tags on them. That Millie just kind of grew wild. And this Acro here, he's doing really good. Then I got my Bam Bams up there. And I think that's pretty much it. You can see my pom-poms there, just huge. Constantly having to trim those guys back. They just get in the way of everything. And then my bird's nest over here. Little pink guy. But got some new fish also. Got this yellow-eyed coal tang. He's hiding back in there. Oh, he took off. I guess we'll focus on the Lunar wrasse for right now. He's cool. I added him about a week ago. There's the coal tang right there. Got him. He's a bit of a bully. And then I got a little tiny 6-0. This guy down here is super cool. I love the Mandarins. They're neat. And I have tons of pods, and he's just been fat and happy. I got him a couple months ago. And I think that's it, except for the little 6 line, but he hides pretty well. He don't really come out too much. Oh, there he is. He just zipped around. But all in all, everything's doing really, really well. I'm very happy with the move in our new house, and boy, that was a real pain in the butt. Go ahead and open up the sump and see just how much my Chato's grown with that light. As you can see, it's just completely full, and there's just pods everywhere cruising around through there. Probably can't really see them that well, but they are everywhere. It's just all over the place. I bought a thing of little Tigger pods, I think they're called, back when I was first starting the tank, and dump those in there, and man, they've just taken off and taken over. That was kind of why I got that Mandarin, was because I needed something to keep them down. They were just everywhere. But my Chato's doing great. I'm constantly pulling out huge chunks of that on a daily basis. So this was the stuff that I use to reduce my phosphates. I'm not a very big fan of putting liquids into the tank, but boy, you got to do a little bit of math. It tells you that I believe 6 drops will reduce it 5 parts per million, not 0.05, like 5 parts per million for every 10 gallons. So you got to do a little bit of math. And I did a couple doses, and I've been having the best results with this by just adding a little bit each day instead of huge, you know, doses at one time. And then my cyanobacteria, man, within 48 hours it was gone. I used this stuff right here, and it worked like a champ. This is like, these are the 2 best products like I've bought to help me with problems kind of since I started, other than just testing on a regular basis. So I think that's about it for my 1-year update. Very happy. Tank is just established and thriving. All the fish are happy. I've had so many trials and errors and tribulations along the way, but a lot of experiments, and everything seems to be working out really well, and is very happy. So thanks for watching, and if you guys, like always, see anything I'm doing wrong or anything that I can do better, please do not hesitate to let me know. Thanks.